So, Mooney, I decided to wear shorts on a 38-degree day in honor of this podcast, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, man. It's my thing.
It is your thing. Caleb Moon, second episode of MorOUns. And just to prove to the audience, I am wearing shorts. I wore my black shorts. And we're wearing the Athens gear because you and I, Mr. Caleb Moon, are coaches for the Athens middle school baseball team. We just got back from practice, actually rolling in right into the podcast, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Thank you for being the second moron on the podcast. The first moron actually got promoted. He's behind you now. He's
got producer. So, yeah, no, dude. As soon as I saw the title of the show, I was like, man, I've been begging him to come on the air with him for like years. So I figured after you came up with the moron show, I'd be like, dude, that was me. You know, he'd let me on that one.
So you're from Athens.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Now, did you live in the Plains?
I lived in the Plains. We got hit by the 2010 tornado, and then we moved a little bit, but it was still in the Plains, and we lived there the entire time.
That tornado is a really interesting story. I mean, tell me about what was that like? I mean, was your house destroyed? How many of your friends' houses were destroyed? Did you know it was coming? Were you in Athens?
So we were at my sister was in 8th grade at the time, and she cheered. And we were at the Chansey Field, and they said a storm was coming through. We were like, all right, whatever, you know, it's Athens, storm's coming through. So we went, and we went home, and my mom, as soon as we walked in the house, was like, there's a funnel. And we were like, oh. So we ran down to the basement. 10 minutes later, we heard this loud noise, and my dad was like, oh, dude, it's just the porch furniture. And we were like, okay, man.
That's really loud for porch furniture.
Yeah, went upstairs, and our roof had been ripped off.
Oh, wow.
And then it just started pouring after, and, you know, you have no coverage on anything, so everything got...
everything.
Yeah. I was almost
12,
13 at the time.
Almost 13, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of age, it's also your birthday.
Yeah,
21st birthday, Mr. Caleb Moon. Another reason why we had to have you on the show, without a doubt.
It's your present to me, you know?
I hope I could get you a real present, maybe later. We won't talk about what that present is, though. Well, you can now. You're 21. Welcome to the. You can actually talk about your alcoholic beverage consumption now legally. You can now talk about it.
Yeah, I've had one legal beer, so you know, Michelob Ultra. It was nice.
Now, don't admit you have illegal beer, though.
Oh, never.
No, never. Okay, so let's talk about this shorts thing because I wanted to confront you on it.
All right.
Okay, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I also have this pen in my hand, and I'm whipping it around. I just toss it over my head. I don't want that pen anymore. I want to talk about the shorts thing because it's ridiculous what you're doing.
What is ridiculous about it?
I walk down to Peden Stadium. You're one of the guys on the equipment staff for the Ohio football team, and it is 25. I got long johns on. I've got jeans on. And I was like, man, I'm cold, right meow. And okay, so before the show, Moody says, how many meows can you fit in with making it sound natural?
I bet him that he couldn't do 10.
I couldn't do one. I couldn't even do one. Okay, so I walk down there. You're really cold, right? And, well, I'm really cold. I've got long johns on. I've got a winter jacket on. I've got gloves. I'm freezing. I'm shivering. And I see there, and you're just sitting there. Heavy top, like normal clothes up top, and I look down low and I see your legs because you're wearing shorts when it's like 25. What's the coldest weather you ever wore shorts in?
Coldest weather was when we played Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's my junior year at high school. It was about 4 degrees when I wore shorts.
Oh. So you're playing on the football team?
I was hurt during that time, so I was in shorts.
You were in shorts on the sideline?
Yeah.
Not moving? In 4-degree weather.
I was doing signal calling. That was kind of cool.
Do your legs get cold? I mean, what's the deal there?
So for football, I always wear shorts. It's kind of like a tradition thing that I have to do. But like this year when the wind chill was -15, I was like, I probably should break out the sweatpants for that way.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, that one you get frostbite for. You can't mess around with that.
Yeah.
And I texted you that actually. I think on that day I was like, you like literally don't wear shorts. You can't. Like you're gonna hurt yourself.
Pretty sure I told you I wore shorts though, because why not?
No, I think you said you brought out the sweatpants.
Maybe.
But you complained heavily about it. You don't like wearing them.
No, because whenever I go inside with sweatpants, like if we're doing this right now, my legs would be drenched in sweat, and then I'd walk outside and they'd freeze. So I actually get colder when I wear sweatpants than when I wear shorts.
See, it's an interesting theory. You told me that the other night. It made a lot of sense for you personally. But it's not a tough. Do you do it for pride or anything, or is it literally just for that reason?
It's for that reason, and then I started doing it because everyone in Athens that knows Sam Smathers, huge
Dog Pound,
yeah,
great place to be.
Yeah.
Great chili, great everything down there.
Yeah, I grew up around him, so he was always the shorts guy, and growing up around them, you want to be like your role models. So I started the shorts thing, and now it just kind of stuck. And if I'm wearing pants, people just look at me like, "Dude, what's going on?"
Yeah, you in a bad mood, man?
Yeah, dude, I had to wear jeans down in Dallas.
That's
and
rough.
I own one pair of jeans, and I bought them senior year of high school for senior pictures. I bought them the night before.
Wow.
They're from Walmart.
Clayton, do you own jeans yet?
I actually do own a pair, but I don't really exactly wear them ever. And they're also I bought them.
So when did you start? When did you wear jeans for the first time?
I think an 8th grade dance.
Oh my God. Are we serious, guys? This is an American staple. Like, jeans is the most American thing you could possibly do or wear. Like, it's the most, except it's invented by a German, but it's the most American
I'm a
thing you
German,
can do.
Just to be fair.
Okay, so you're even a quarter German and you're not wearing Levi's, man? I don't know how you guys weren't wearing. I wore jeans about every day from like 7 on, like in the winter. I always wore jeans. I don't know how you guys don't wear jeans.
You look weird in shorts.
I do look weird in shorts, don't I?
You're definitely a jeans guy. Like,
I'm a jeans long pants guy.
Yeah.
What is it about my legs? I mean,
I don't think
what's not good about this in shorts?
You don't have the right amount of leg hair. That's the problem.
Is it not enough leg hair?
Yeah, you need more leg hair.
What if I shaved it and it was the opposite effect?
Then you'd probably be feminine.
I never thought I'd see Lucas's legs on a podcast.
Oh,
And I
this
don't
is the
think I
great
ever wanted to see
conversation I've
that.
ever had, period, with Lucas.
What?
Let alone on a
Oh, I
podcast.
thought I've been entertained you a little bit more. Should I leave the leg up here? No, it's a little weird up here. No, I don't think I look as good in shorts.
Yeah, you're definitely a jeans guy.
Yeah, no. Just shorts in the summer, I just always look weird. I'm like, I never liked the look. But,
You look good in baseball pants, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get that compliment quite often. Not from people like you, though, Mooney.
Gotta call a spade, buddy.
Oh, my God. I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, so I wanted to show you the weird website of the week, okay?
All right.
But I don't have it pulled up yet because I planned poorly. So I want to talk about the Joe Burrow
There's
through
no
the trampoline.
planning for this podcast.
There is planning. Don't insult the podcast.
Yeah, Clayton.
It's a bunch of morons getting together. So I want to talk about this Joe Burrow story. So
Which Joe Burrow story?
there's plenty. I want to talk about the trampoline one because it's the one you mentioned. For those that are fans of the podcast that don't know who Joe Burrow is, that's why you're wearing an LSU hat.
Yeah, that's where I got the old.
Joe Burrow went to Athens. You went to school with Joe Burrow. He's his current starting quarterback at LSU. He's a local hero, local legend. There's actually a cat in Athens.
It's my next door neighbor. It's actually my cousin.
Oh, wow.
Taylor Clemens. Yeah, Joey Burrow.
She named her cat Joey Burrow.
Yeah.
Taylor
Clemens.
Okay, I read that she went and introduced the cat to Joe at his graduation party.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that had to be weird for her and him. That had to be weird
I feel
for
like that's
everybody.
more weird for him than it is her. Or, I don't know. Because, it's kind of an honor. I've never had a cat named after me. Have you?
No, but also, when a cat is named after you, how are you supposed to react?
I don't know. How are you supposed to react when kids are dressing up for you as Halloween? That's like a superhero kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but a cat is like a living being that you've decided for its entire days will be Joey Burrow. When it's buried, you put on the box you put it in, Joey Burrow. Or if you get it a nice tombstone, if you're wealthy, you put Joey Burrow on there. That's a serious commitment.
Who gets a tombstone for a
yeah.
cat?
In 30 years,
Great question
I didn't want to
there.
offend those cat lovers out there. You would put your cat in a box?
When my cat died, we didn't even put it in a box. We just buried it at
Dug
my
a hole.
grandpa's
Yeah.
farm.
Not a lot of people don't bury their pets nowadays. They take them to the
We cremated my little teacup.
Did you get it
Yorkie.
like a little ash for
Yeah,
it?
it's like in a little box.
Wait, teacup what?
Yorkie.
Yorkie? Okay.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 pound
I thought
dog.
you said
about
those.
yay big.
Yeah, no, I know a Yorkie. I thought you meant those teacup pigs. You ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah. Apparently, there are just really underfed pigs, and it's kind of cruel. But
Oh wow.
I didn't do
what-
too deep of a Google search on that
Way
one.
to bring a dark subject. I was like, I want one of those pigs, but yeah, you're starving them, dude.
Okay, so Joey Burrow threw you through a trampoline one time.
So me and Joey grew up in the same neighborhood. When I was about 7 years old, he was 8, and we moved in the same. He moved into the neighborhood when his dad got the D coordinator job. Same with Trace Albin. His dad is the O coordinator for OU, and we just started hanging out every day during summer. We played a lot of wiffle ball, and we'd play a game called trampoline football, and it's exactly what it sounds like. And I was probably about 10 years old, and I got the idea on Trace's trampoline that I was going to hurdle Joe Burrow. And I felt
6'3", 6'4" Joe Burrow.
at this time he was like 5'11", but
How old was he?
he would have been 11 years old.
11.
But going into middle school, I was 4'8". So
Wow.
when I was 10, I was probably about 4'6".
But you can still do a backflip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that. Okay, so Burrow, you're getting ready to jump over him.
I am playing quarterback, and Trace is playing wide receiver, and we always played me and Trace versus Joey no matter what we did, wiffle ball, trampoline, whatever. Like, it was always us two versus him because,
Wow.
yeah.
He was that good?
Oh, we
You
played him in wiffle ball. We counted one time. It was over 300 times. We beat him 3 times the entire time we played him in wiffle ball.
By himself.
By himself.
He beat you. And by the way, Trace Albin is one of the all-time leading receivers at Athens High School.
Oh, he's a tremendous athlete, just period.
And you can do backflips. And you were, starting your senior year, right?
What sport?
Football. No.
I was hurt.
Oh, yeah, you were hurt.
I was
But
hurt
you would have
junior
played, though, right?
I was in the line to so when I got my 6th concussion, I was in line to compete for a starting spot on that state championship team as a linebacker.
So you're a good athlete. I would classify you, without it, as a good athlete. So you and Trace Albin, 2+ above average high school athletes, got beat 297 times out of 300 by one person.
Roughly, yeah.
Wow. Every story I hear about this guy is incredible.
One time he hit a line drive right back, and it hit Trace in the eye, and he had a black eye from a wiffle ball, like a dark black eye from a wiffle ball.
That's rough. That's rough. That reminds me, remember Jacob?
Yeah.
In the spring? So, to tell the story for the audience, Jacob Bulger is one of the kids on our team, which is why I'm repping the Athens hat and the pullover. We came from practice. And Jacob actually wasn't there today. But Jacob, he goes to swing, ball hits him, ball hits his bat, ricochets directly up, knocks him in the cheek. Down goes Jacob.
Luckily, my dad was there because he's a registered nurse, and he could check him out because he was in.
Yeah, and he had a big black eye, and I was worried about him. And I'm saying, oh, man, I can't let this kid back in the game.
And his dad's just, get up and bat, get up and bat.
Get up and bat. And I go to his dad, I'm like, if somebody that is a registered nurse or a doctor or somebody clears him, says that he won't hurt himself more, and he says yes, then he can hit again.
In goes Dewey Moon.
And so your dad said, yep, he'll be fine. It's just a bruise. It's not anything broken. He's not going to damage it more. And I looked this kid in this eye. And when you look at a 12 or 13-year-old that's got tears welled up, what you want to do is just say, go sit down. But you look him in the eye with his dad right there, and I go, do you want to hit? Do you really? You don't have to. And he goes, I want to. Step back.
See, I don't think I ever heard Jacob's answer. I just heard his dad, you're hitting.
No, I made sure that Jacob said yes. I really, really meant that he would say yes, right? And, I kind of gave him one of those things, like, if you really don't want to, I'll take the blame for it, right? I'll be the one that says you can't play, blah, blah, blah. But that kid legitimately said yes, got up, and what did he do, rip a double?
Yeah, that kid's like...
he's incredible.
He's a little guy, too. He's like 5'2", 5'3", maybe. Not like a huge big bad guy. I mean, he's a smaller guy that just got up and was like, I'm playing baseball. Like,
good athlete, good
tough
arm.
kid, man, tough kid.
I couldn't imagine that type of toughness. At 12 years old, to get hit in the eye, have a bruise on the bottom of your eye, and step back up to the batter's box and get a base hit.
And face the pitcher that just, gave you the black eye, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's kind of scary in itself.
Without a doubt. So I pulled up the website. It's a weird website of the week time. Now, Clayton, go ahead and pop up this for the audience. So this is for the video portion. If you guys want to watch the video, go ahead, check out YouTube, subscribe to me, the MorOUns. Just look it up. You'll find it there, and you'll be able to see the video.
It was very difficult to find out last week, by the way. I don't know why, but it was very difficult for me to be able to find this. I was, searching. It's because of the
How is it difficult?
Because all these other Lucas's profiles came up.
If you just search
MorOUns
with Lukas Moore.
Yeah, MorOUns with Lukas Moore. Just search the podcast.
That's the first one.
I did that too, but the problem is I didn't know how to spell MorOUns.
So it's MorOU. Nobody's going to give you the O yet.
Yeah?
Oh, come on.
You were pointing
You've grown
at
up
Mooney.
here.
I wasn't going to do it.
How do we not get that, fellas?
I thought you were asking me to spell. We both know I can't spell.
You've lived here your whole life. Those two back there go here.
I don't go here, though.
No, but you've lived here. You know OU, yeah.
My dad works for the team. I mean, I probably should.
You work for Ohio football.
Oh, I also work for the team.
Anyway, this is the weird website of the week, okay? It's called squeaksandnibbles.com. Okay. Now, it's interesting, all right?
How did you find this? Can I
Well,
Google?
I Googled get a hamster. I don't know why I Googled get a hamster. I actually don't remember. But on this website, you can purchase many types of animals, including exotic animals.
You can
That's
just,
not legal, though.
Oh, no, this is definitely not legal.
with a certain kind of license, it is.
It probably is.
Yeah.
So, bearded dragon bath time. Do bearded dragons need baths? And it's like a 700-word article. Let's see. If I
Who
want to
takes the time to write that article? Though?
Dude,
Great
Penny
question.
Berrigan, Amanda Stali, I don't know.
That is someone that like can't find a job that like gets a major in like something that's completely useless, and then they start writing these articles.
You've got to be paid for this a little bit, right?
Is a pet gecko the right choice for you? I don't know.
No, I
The
don't
only
know.
gecko, the right choice for me is the
I'm terrified
Daiko
of-
gecko.
Cat herpes. Diagnosis and treatment of feline herpes.
What?
No, I'm serious. Is it on the screen? Is it on
Yes,
there?
yeah.
It's a real headline. I got to click on this.
I'm gonna go back through and watch the video just to see this.
Could your fur friend have cat herpes without you knowing?
Is
I don't
cat
know.
herpes a problem? Like, is this something we
It's a
should be?
common infection.
Is this something we should be investing money into?
Feline herpes virus. And by the way, for the audience, this is squeaksandnibbles.com. I don't know if this is real at all. Right? I'm just reading it. Is a surprisingly common infection, also known as feline rhinotracheitis. This is an important cause of recurring sore eyes in cats, but it's also a sneaky virus which enters a carrier state. May appear healthy, but at times stress shed virus, pose an infection to others. How do cats catch it? Like the flu. Okay.
So
The Cattery. Are we kidding me? There's a subtitle in this thing. It says the Cattery scenario.
is there like a percentage of cats that have cat herpes? Like, I feel like that should be something in the article. That
How many cats have herpes? Let's find out.
Why is this on a podcast? Okay,
Cat
all right.
herpes. It's a real thing, man.
we're about to talk.
There's
20
a
minutes
pets.
about cat herpes.
There's a Pets WebMD. By the way, I didn't know this either. Sneezing, congestion, watery eyes, nose, and nose. Has your cat caught a cold? It could be feline herpes. So it's not a sexually transmitted disease like herpes is. Go ahead and pull that off the screen, guys. It's not a sexually transmitted disease like our herpes is, but also there's a herpes. A vast majority of Americans actually already have the same virus that is genital herpes already in their body. Because it's cold sores on the mouth and all those things like that.
I'm with Clayton on this one. How is this a podcast? Like,
Yeah.
I did learn today that there's such a thing as cat herpes because I thought humans were the only ones that
Listen,
had herpes.
this
but-
podcast, let me clarify. This podcast is not meant to be anything. It's meant
Well,
to be
it's
a
apparently
conversation.
educational because I'm learning.
Education is a good pillar of
You
want to
know a fun fact? 1 in 5 people in South Africa have AIDS.
That's not a fun fact.
How did you know that off the top of your head?
A
That's the
comedian
opposite
said it.
of a
I mean,
fun
it's
fact.
not exactly a fact. I guess.
Well,
A
let's get
comedian
the
said it.
real. No, I'm not going to Google that.
Do not.
There's
Google
a
that.
lot of HIV in Africa. It's a real problem.
Yes.
It's a real problem here.
This podcast goes off so many walls that it just is kind of crazy how it happens.
It's like racquetball.
I talked Propel last week for like 7 minutes, so like.
You ever played racquetball,
crazy.
Mooney?
No,
No?
I've never played. Like,
We got to get you in there.
I tried to play tennis once, but like I just kind of kept hitting it out of the fence.
Pretty sure I played racquetball with you.
Oh, you mean,
Lucas,
like, over
and
the-
I like hit it off of myself while we were playing.
Yeah, you hit yourself a few times. That's okay.
I don't think I'm coordinated enough for racquetball.
I clearly am not.
What do you mean? You're coordinated enough. It's a giant racket and a tiny ball. Can you not make contact with it? I don't understand how people are not coordinated enough for tennis. I mean, it's just about the wrist motion. You got to like something. Max McDoulan's going to get very mad at me for not saying this correctly, but it's just like you can't hit it too hard. You got to get the right spin on it. But racquetball is fun because you can just whip back like a baseball and just whack that thing against the back wall. It's a lot of fun. You would enjoy it.
I like that the one picture you found to post on your story about this podcast was me playing golf, by the way, because I've played golf a total of like 4 times, and the last time I got a birdie on OU's 6th hole, and I have not played since.
Oh, you got a birdie on 6?
Yeah.
That's a tough hole to get a birdie on. Man.
Oh yeah. But
That's the one with like the river in between it, that walkway, right? Or is that 7? I think that's 7.
That's 7.
That's 7. So 6 is the one across the river, right? It's the last hole before you
it's
get.
the last hole.
Oh,
across
it's the last
the
hole
river.
before you cross the bridge.
Yeah.
I missed a birdie, my first birdie ever. What would have been my first birdie ever by that much on that course.
It's
on hole 6.
It's my only birdie ever, and I think I'm just gonna retire. Like because I've never been good at golf. One time I almost totaled a golf cart, but that's about it.
How'd you
I
almost
shot
total a golf cart?
Oh.
You shot like a 145.
I shot a
I don't even wanna
35
hear.
on one hole once. It was a par 5.
You know,
hey,
you're
I did
allowed
not
to
give
like
up.
pick up after 10 though. Like
Yeah, you at that
I don't put a
at that
score-
point you might as well have given up.
Yeah, I don't put above an 8 on my scorecard most of the time. Because I'll just like, all right, whatever.
I mean, I'm at
I don't
least
even
honest.
keep score. I just go out there and.
So you almost totaled a golf cart. What happened?
I was playing in a charity golf outing and Forest Hills Golf Course in Gloucester. Shout out to that. And
Go Tomcats.
the third hole, the tee box is here and the green is here, and between it's just like a dip. And it was like 10 in the morning, and I get bored very easily golfing. Cause
It's a boring game.
Yeah, it's
slow.
not a lot of action. So I was like,
Even the applause in golf is boring.
yeah.
Like, come on, people, let's clap with some energy.
Yeah, let's get hyped. Like Happy Gilmore, like, come on, guys.
There's like 2 golfers in the world that can get a crowd hyped. Tiger Woods, a few others can. But anyway.
But so I got bored and I was like, I'm gonna which by the way, it was on hole 3. Like I'm on the 3rd hole and I'm already bored with golf, so that's why I quit playing too. Plus, if I'd go buy a new pack of golf balls and I would just spray them across the entire estate.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I literally would lose every single golf ball every time. But I get bored, so I drive down and I start drifting the golf cart.
On the grass.
Yeah, and then it starts going down the hill backwards.
Don't tell that to facilities. And they don't take care of that thing anyway.
It's at Forest Hills Golf Course in Gloucester.
Oh, it was in Gloucester.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I started
nobody in
drifting
Gloucester
it.
listens.
I started drifting it down,
That's even worse.
and I stopped like right before. But yeah, at a charity golf outing, I almost totaled the golf cart. I don't think that would have went over well.
Can you total a golf cart?
Oh yeah, my friends have done it.
Oh, okay.
How?
How though? Like what type of
Have you
damage?
seen like the Jackass thing where they like ramp the golf cart over the pig and it just like demolishes it?
No,
I
haven't seen
have
that.
not seen this.
Wow, you guys need to get out more and watch some more Jackass.
We're allowed to say that because it's a movie,
Yeah.
right? It's in the title.
I'll put quotes around it if I have to.
Jackass. Oh my gosh. That's a really. Have you seen? There was a podcast where they went over all of what's the main guy's name?
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
His injuries?
All
Yeah.
his injuries.
Yeah.
It's insane what that man's been through for entertainment. Absolutely insane.
Well, that's probably why they're not going to make a Jackass 4.
yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would not do that film either.
Well, Steve-O's clean and everything now. So
Yeah,
it's-
Steve-O, but he's interesting clean. Did you see that story about him adopting that dog?
No.
It was one of the best things ever. So Steve-O, like,
Oh, I did see this. Yes.
he found this street dog in Mexico, and he brought it in, cleaned it up, and the dog just started following him around and was just the most well-behaved dog ever. And he tells this awesome story, got her all vaxxed up, cleaned, and then has the dog with him all through his travels.
Yeah, it was all through Jackass 3. Like, they had the dog with them.
Yeah, that's
like, during
awesome.
the entire time.
I heard the interview about it after. I think I saw it in the movie as well, but I heard about the interview after. Steve-O's an interesting guy. He's been through a lot. And Steve-O, I think, is the biggest example, Mooney, of how we can't judge somebody for their entire life by one action.
Well, that's the thing. You can look at Steve-O and go, he's a druggie, he's all this and that, but then, you hear a story about him adopting an animal that, I mean, a lot of celebrities probably wouldn't even give him the time of, I say time of day, like a dog can get a time of day, but wouldn't even give him, like, a care in the world about.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I'd rather have a person like that cares.
Yeah.
than-
And it's not like we judge too much in society. We're too much worried about one action that's illegal that makes you a certain type of person. Another action that's illegal makes you a certain type of person, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
See, to me,
Like, but,
some,
like,
some
it's-
of the illegal things, like, they're illegal, and that's, yeah, you should not do them, but that it doesn't make you a bad person. Like, Steve-O's not a bad person. He just,
Yeah,
like,
without a doubt.
now he adopting dogs and stuff.
Well, and like, using drugs is illegal, but it is still free will. And I don't think it makes you a bad person. I would much rather, although the prison time is more, I would much rather be friends with a druggie than friends with a vandal, a guy who goes around and vandalizes all these different properties. Like he's into that. He likes scratching up cars and stuff. Like that's just a shady dude. Like what are you doing
that's
that
just
for?
disrespectful. That's just beating people's property up
Yeah,
and stuff
and
like that. You shouldn't want to do that. Like, I don't know. I don't like being associated with any of that stuff, to be honest. But I mean, if you're a good person, I'm still there.
Yeah,
know?
without a doubt. And Steve was just an example of, even though it's something you want them to get off of, even though it's something that you want them to end.
Well, now he's clean, which is
Exactly. But it's more than just drugs, right? It's all these different actions that we do throughout our lives. And we've gotten into the society, especially with social media, where one thing you said, one thing you did that was over the line, but wasn't necessarily career ending, right, is now being completely blown out of proportion, and people are losing their jobs, people are losing their livelihoods over things they've said from the past. And this is going to become a bigger and bigger issue, because have you, Caleb Boone, gone through your old Facebook? When did you get a Facebook? How old were you?
So I don't have an old Facebook. My current Facebook is my old Facebook. I got a Facebook when I was 8 years old, and it's using my sister's email, dinka08@hotmail.com. That's my oldest sister's email.
Wow.
Yeah. Or her first email, I guess.
Jeez. And when did you get Twitter?
I was late to the Twitter game, man. I wasn't a fan of
Okay,
it.
so you're not a good example. Clayton.
I don't get me wrong. There's some stuff out there I'd like people
exactly,
not to
but like there are people out there that were 12, 13, 14, 15 years old posting willy-nilly on Facebook without much anybody watching over them, because parents, you didn't let them on their Facebook, and it was that was kind of your realm of privacy. It was just between you and your friends. And these people are going to run for office. These people are going to be a part of podcasts. These people are going to want to be prominent public figures. And we're going to dig through their Facebook and find out some ridiculous thing they said when they were 13 that they didn't actually believe, that they thought their friends was funny, that may come off as homophobic, racist, or all these other things. And are we really going to punish a 13-year-old for something he said back on Twitter, and now he can't have a job when he's 25?
The more you see this, though, like, it's becoming more relevant. Like, whenever you're like 13 years old and you think you're posting something and you're like, oh, haha, this won't catch up to me. Now that you're seeing like people that it has caught up to,
yeah,
you're kind of like, hey, like, I don't post anything that I don't.
But we coach 12 and 13-year-olds, and we see their social media on occasion. They have not learned the lesson from everybody else.
Really? Because all I see on Landon's social media is 11:11 I love you to his girlfriend. I hope he watches this too, because I've called him out in person.
Wow.
Landon's in 8th grade. Hey, I began a relationship in 8th grade and
So
lasted
did I.
6 years.
I dated sisters in 7th and 8th grade.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Of a high school or a middle school.
Not at the same time, right?
No, well, I dated the older one in 7th grade and then the younger one in 8th grade. But their dad was my middle school teacher in history in 7th grade, and I ended up with a D-.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, I mean, you didn't get that F, so you must have done something.
I mean,
right.
I passed. So.
Yeah, but like, we shouldn't be judging people for one thing they did at any time. And I think kids is an extreme example for social media. And like, I shouldn't have judged you, even if you would have done it at the same time, or you'd have done some weird back. You're 12, you're 13. We all make horrific mistakes. If you ask our parents, everybody's made horrific mistakes through youth. It's a part of learning. It's a part of growing up. And we can't start as a society, just because we're more aware of what kids are saying nowadays, we can't start judging them, restricting them, and taking away future opportunities for dumb things they say when they're teenagers. Also, we shouldn't judge adults that way, because I'm not the same person I am at 20 as I was at 19. And people are definitely not the same person they were at 28 as they were at 20. They might have been a good Samaritan at 20, but now they're a bad person at 28. They might have been a horrific person at 20. They might have been vandalizing, might have been on drugs, but they can be a good person at 28.
Vandalizing's a big thing for you, isn't it?
It's just a random crime that I came up with at the beginning of the podcast.
Now
like, what's a minor crime that I'm not a fan of? Vandalism. I'm a fan of jaywalking, though. Do that all you want.
See, this is the main difference.
I'm pro jaywalking.
This is the main difference between, like, all of it is, before, when you made mistakes whenever you were young, when we were young, a lot of the stuff, it wasn't public eye. We didn't put it on social media. I've said a lot of things that I shouldn't have said and regret saying.
And I think every person on planet Earth says that right there.
But it's a difference when you post it and everyone in the world can see it, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but is it hard to distinguish as a kid the difference between free speech, spoken word with your friends, and why is that less impactful than what you write? right? I understand why. I 100% understand your point that there's more consequences. It can be seen by more people. It's way more public. It stays forever. But does a 13-year-old kid really understand that concept? That's kind of what I'm struggling with.
I think 13-year-olds used to understand it, and now it's just kind of a thing where everyone does social media. Everyone tries to get all the likes and all the retweets. Like, I'm not a big followers person, but everyone tries to get a lot of followers and stuff like that, so they try and post things that are really funny, and I can see it.
Yeah, which it increases, like suicide rates and depression rates have gone way up with the current generation, not even our generation, the generation below us, the one that really grew up with iPhones in their hands from age 6, 7, and 8. And a lot of that's because of social media, because before you'd leave school and you'd have 12 hours and you wouldn't be bullied or anything. But it goes beyond the bullying. For 12 hours a day, you were probably the first or second most important person in your house. Like, you felt valued. You felt like a part of a system. You felt a part of a group. But nowadays, because of social media, if you don't have a lot of followers or you don't get a lot of likes and all your friends are getting followers and all your friends are getting likes, you constantly feel left out. It's a very, very negative thing that can really catch up to kids, is you feel left out. You feel like you're loved less. Oh, she got 115 likes. I only got 75. That means I'm uglier, which is not true at all. Like, that's an artificial metric. That's made up. She might just spend more time on social media. She might have just gotten lucky with more likes. Instagram's algorithm might have put her photo a little bit higher for some odd reason. Like, we got to get it into kids' heads that likes, followers, those things can be valuable and those things can be important, but they are in no way a judge of looks, character, or value in society. And I think if we can start teaching that social media efficacy to kids that are 7, 8, 9 years old, before we get social media in their hands, and parents, we got to stop giving social media to 8-year-olds, I think. You teach them these skills, and then you let them loose when they're 11 or 12, and I think they'd be much better off, and I think they'd understand what it is better, and these depression and suicide rates would at least be mitigated at some point. Because right now it's crazy what we're going through. The fact that quality of life is going up like this, and suicide rates are climbing right alongside it. It's crazy.
Well, that's the crazy thing to me is, like, I was amazed by the technology of you guys setting up the show. Like, the technology and the stuff we have is so great, but with it is coming, like, people, suicide, depression, which I think depression's always kind of been around. It's just being diagnosed more, is my personal belief on that. But I also think part of the problem is, you see your parents on, like, not my parents, because we didn't have it when I was younger, but, like, you go home and you see your mom or dad always on the phone, always, like, playing some game, doing that, and then it almost becomes like a neglect thing where,
hey, you're right.
Hey, I don't want to play with you. Go play with your iPad. Go play Wii. Do something. Yeah. Are Wii still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have a Wii.
I thought, isn't it the Nintendo Switch now?
I don't know if they're still making Wiis. I think they are. Are they still making Wiis?
I believe so. I mean, I don't know.
The Nintendo Switch is a thing, I know.
Are they still making Wiis?
The Nintendo Switch, isn't that a handheld thing, though? Where, like,
oh, you can put it on the TV. It's pretty dope, actually.
Can you really? I did not know
that. Discontinued the production of the Wii in Japan and Europe. So I think it's still around the United States.
So when was that?
I'm not sure.
You want to know an interesting fact that has nothing to do with this show right now?
Sounds like the greatest time ever to say it.
Please give it to me.
So not over half, like 40% of our players wear the Revo Speed helmet, and they're discontinuing it next year. So we have to get all of our players into Flex helmets.
So you're talking about Ohio football,
the
equipment. That's a major cost. That's got to be.
Not as much as you'd think, because we had about 20 seniors drop off. So getting those guys, and then so it's not that. But we have to buy 2 helmets for every player because we have the white and the black helmets.
Yep. And then you get special helmets for certain players, right? These newer concussion-safer helmets.
Yeah, the Vices helmet we currently have. Last season we had Nathan Rourke, AJ Olette, and Evan Crouch, who plays linebacker, in the Vices helmet, which the guy that hired me, his name is Matt Morton. He actually works for Vices now, and those helmets are amazing, man.
Yeah, they apparently they shake around the head. So
it's built like a car so that it morphs around your head, so your head's not getting the impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, have they done studies? Like, has it really reduced the risk of the concussion from what you've heard?
Ryan Grooms used to be a equipment guy at Notre Dame, and now he works for Vices. He's our Vices rep, and he said, no helmet is ever going to prevent concussions, but the drop of players that had concussion problems and then got into a vices is like pretty substantial.
Okay, that's a good sign then. It's something at least.
It's
We're doing
moving
something.
towards it because the thing about helmets was until about 2008, they had never done a study about CTE or anything like that. And nobody really knew like how big a problem concussions were until 2010 when the Will Smith movie Concussion came out. Great movie, by the way, if you've never seen it.
That was in 2010.
That was in
Yeah,
2010.
it's been a minute.
Wow.
And that's when like the whole like uproar started, and that's when they started like really developing helmets.
That
and,
was
like
like 10 Browns.
I just did a speech on it actually last week. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what do you think is concussions going to be a thing that takes down the sport of football? Because I think that's a question a lot of people are asking.
I think it's a big problem in youth sports right now more than it is like because I think we're always gonna have professional football and stuff like that, but youth
Yeah.
sports,
So
a lot of people is dropping off just because of that issue.
I would too. I wouldn't let my kid play tackle till 8th grade, honestly.
Well, Trey Williams, who was a running back, his brother didn't play till his freshman year. Or Trey Williams didn't play till his freshman year, I think.
And he's currently a defensive back at Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, if you
A
have it,
Division
you
I
have
school.
it.
Exactly. And I think that tackling is a skill that's pretty simple and can be learned fairly quickly. It's not something you need to develop like a throwing motion or a basketball jump shot. Tackling is pretty self-explanatory.
Well, and then you have flag football and stuff like that.
Yeah,
to develop,
exactly.
Which I'm against because I think every kid should experience football and the greatness and stuff that comes with it. Concussion, I mean, I've had 6 concussions personally.
So have you experienced any side effects from that?
Mostly just loud noises. So like if I don't really go to concerts or like anything.
See, but that's so like I understand that football was a valuable experience for you, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have played or anything like that. But that's a real consequence, man.
I've only had 1 concussion from football, just throwing that out
But
there.
6 concussions just randomly.
Well, my worst one was from baseball. I got put in the intensive care unit for
Yeah,
that one.
you know what? Sports are dangerous in general, I think.
Yeah.
But especially football, like we shouldn't have little kids sprinting at each other and slamming their heads into each other. I think we should all agree to that.
I think it's just a proper tackling thing. Like, I learned how to tackle. I didn't have a concussion from football till my sophomore year of high school, and that was because some other kid kept running his head into me.
But all those small little impacts in those little kids' brains and
Oh, I'm
necks,
sure. Well, that's I've
it's a
had
little too
6
harmful.
registered concussions. I think
I
we
probably had more.
Yeah.
I've never had a registered concussion, but I've definitely seen stars. I remember one time before.
Well, that's what it used to just be getting your bell rung. You know?
Yeah. Oh, just shake it off. You know, like it was nothing. But I remember in soccer, we were getting the soccer balls from the lower field up to our game field, and me and a couple other guys were throwing it over the fence. And Dalton Tuttle was actually the one that did this. If he listens to this, he might. Dalton was our goalkeeper, and he was really good at punting the ball. And it was the last ball, and I was in front of him about like 10 feet up the hill. And he was just going to punt it over me onto the field. Well, this thing flies. I mean, he could punt it 60, 70 yards with a soccer ball. Like, he was really good at it. He ripped it, and it just right on the back of my head. Down I go. I remember being blacked out. Now, they said I was only down 1 or 2 seconds, but I remember blacking out. And then I went out and played a soccer game. There is no way on this earth that wasn't a concussion. Like, there's no way that wasn't a concussion. Like, now I played through it. I had a little bit of a headache. I didn't say anything because I knew it was probably concussion. It was my senior year. I wanted to keep playing. And kids do that all the time. How many kids have a little bit of a concussion but would never, ever imagine saying anything because they want to keep playing? They
Unless
want
I
to
was
be valuable
knocked
to their
out,
team.
I didn't say anything. Like, which one of my concussions was from riding a skateboard. One was I was leaning out of a grocery cart at Kroger and got knocked out. So I mean,
What?
Please explain that.
Yeah, come on.
isn't that the most like Caleb Moon thing you've ever heard in your life?
Like, I wasn't surprised, but now you got to tell the story.
I was like 3 years old, dude. I don't really remember.
I peed in a mire once.
That doesn't surprise
Please
me. either.
explain that.
Okay, so I was with my
You were
mother.
probably like 14.
No, I was able to walk, but I have no memory of it, and I was not 4 yet. So that range, whatever age.
So probably 3.
And I don't know if it was a Meijer. It might have been a Target. It's one of the red superstores.
Maybe it was Kmart.
Was not.
Give Kmart a shout.
No, I'm
out.
not gonna rule out Kmart either.
Yeah, so give Kmart a shout.
I think it was Meijer though. And I'm with.
Kmart's no longer a thing, though.
Is it really not?
Yeah, it's L Mart because they took that L.
No,
out of
they.
business.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Anyway.
Wow, that was. I'm actually mad at myself. I laughed at that joke.
Oh man. Oh, you're gonna listen back to this and go, "Why did I laugh at that? That was so dumb."
I'm gonna listen back at this and be like, why did he let me on this show?
I don't know. I'm enjoying the podcast.
I'm
thinking
having
the
a
same
great
thing over
time,
here.
but-
Why do you let me direct this thing?
Why? Well, I mean, I hope you're doing a good job. I can't.
You were
see
the only
finished
option.
Product.
I mean,
Well-
I kind of was the only option, I think. I don't honestly know.
Clayton, I want you back there because I like you. I think you're entertaining, and I think you can do a very good job. Now, let me talk about how I peed in a mire. Like in the mire. Not went into the bathroom in a mire and peed. Not like hid behind a rack. I was being pushed in the cart. I was sitting there.
Wait,
I was
did you,
with
like,
my
piss your pants?
No,
or-
no, no, no. I was with my grandma that is from Germany, so my Oma, and my mother, right? And they're pushing the cart along, and they said they were looking at something here, and this story was told to me by my mother. And she said she turned around, and she saw me standing up in the cart, pants pulled down to my ankles, peeing over the cart onto the floor of mire, just owning it. Middle of the aisle. Yeah, I got to pee. This is what you do. And my mom was very mad, is what she said. And we went home right away. And my German grandmother, who she's German, so she's stubborn, she's OCD, and she's clean. So stubborn, OCD, clean, sees small child peeing in public in the middle of a store. Things go haywire, all right? Things go way off the rails. So I couldn't even imagine what her reaction was like. But
Well, we were down in Disney World, and my nephew, who was 4 at the time, he's 5 now, he hops, we're all in the pool having a good time at Disney World Resort, and he hops out and just, like, pulls it out and just starts, like, trying to pee in the bush. And, like, my mom was like, Rory! And my sister's boyfriend takes
my
off
God.
and just picks the kid up over his head with, like, just over his head, runs him into the hotel lobby and lets him
over the head. The distraction from the pee.
He said he told.
Keep it away. Keep it away. Keep it away.
No,
Don't get on me.
he
Pee that
said
way.
he told Rory to cut it off, and he cut it off right then until he got to the bathroom.
Cut it off. Cut it off. I can't do that.
I can't wait till my nephew gets older and I can show him this podcast of where I told. I'm gonna show like every woman he dates, like the podcast
Yeah.
where I told the whole world.
Why should I be embarrassed about that Meyer story? I was 3. I don't remember it. I was a completely different human. My cells have changed over like 5 times since then. I've literally become a different person 5 different times physically. Like each of your cells replicates
That
itself
sounds painful.
after 5 years. It's not painful.
I
It
feel like
happens
this
every
is just becoming a science podcast.
It's not a science podcast. It's a
I think
life
you're
podcast.
right.
Science and life are very much connected. We've also talked sports on here.
Yeah, we've also talked about cats with herpes,
Cats do have herpes though.
which is something I learned. So I'm happy with this.
Wait,
experience.
is it, you know the meme cats has cheeseburgers? Well, it's cats has herpes now. Nope. Bad joke.
Never seen that in my life.
You never saw cats has hamburgers?
No,
We had a
I've never
substitute
seen that.
teacher, Clayton. Oh wait, no, you weren't in that English class. That was the advanced English class. I don't think Clayton was in
But
there.
like,
I
hold
was
on,
never
hold on.
in
Who was the
advanced English
substitute
class.
teacher though?
No, she was a student teacher, and she really liked
Oh.
those cat memes that cats has ham. I guess it's not very popular.
Did you have that one student teacher that you
I'm
had
more of a
crush on
dog
when you were
guy
a
than
kid?
a
No, I didn't. I never had a crush on a student
cat
teacher.
guy.
No.
A regular teacher?
No, I wasn't a teacher guy. I didn't like that. I didn't
Oh,
like. I
dude,
didn't
we-
understand
see,
it at all.
See, we got all the OU like teachers whenever I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
elementary school.
I know.
Miss Richardson, bro.
I'm
3rd
very
grade.
aware. Yeah.
She has my heart if she's watching this.
This just took a
Oh
turn.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, there were student teachers like that. Obviously, kids, hormonal, 20-year-old teaching them. Like it's gonna happen. Kids are gonna have crushes on their student teachers. What were we even talking about?
You peeing.
I peed in a mire. Why should I be embarrassed about that? Like why should you be embarrassed to tell a story like that
Should
from your
you
youth?
should you be embarrassed if your cat has herpes? That's the real question. I feel like that's something to hide from people.
Man, dude. I was I was babysitting your cat last week, and I noticed it.
Wait, can the cat give you
I noticed
herpes?
it had some like eye thing going on, and I hate to tell you.
Or is
this.
it like 2 different strands of herpes?
No, it's 2 different strains, completely different virus.
Okay,
I don't even know why they call it cat herpes. But imagine telling your friend like, "Yo, dude, I took your cat to the vet."
Imagine telling someone that the reason that you had herpes was because of a cat.
Oh
That's
man.
the endless amount of stories that go.
Well,
on with
everybody
that.
would be like, "Wait a minute."
What were you doing with that cat?
Time out. That's illegal, isn't it? Like what?
Oh yeah, it's called barnyard sodomy.
Yeah, no, you can't do that stuff. That's bestiality.
I'm
That's
learning
a
a
whole
lot
other
of new
thing.
terms today.
I don't
Yeah,
want to get into
Clayton's
this
vocabulary. is
podcast.
just-
Let's stop that. Pause it right there. That's another podcast, another time.
Oh, dude, next
MorOUns,
time if I ever come on,
X-rated.
if I ever come back,
I almost actually hit the pause button here, and I was like, "Oh crap! Are we
If I-
actually like stopping?" Or
No,
what?
no. I meant time out, like, as in, let's just stop talking about people and cats and herpes and the connection there.
If I ever come back on the show, I want that to be a topic that we have to talk about is cat herpes.
And we all need to research it. And we need to come in and debate it. Like, is this an issue?
I think we should raise money for it. Like, I think we should start a GoFundMe for cat herpes.
Sell some grilled cheese on Court Street,
Yeah.
Hey, what are you selling it for? Oh, cat herpes.
No cat I know has herpes, but I'm just.
But I'm just trying to.
You're trying to get the
My cat
awareness
came
out
to me.
there.
My cat came to me and said if some of his friends were afflicted, I really felt,
You don't
his
have
pain.
a cat.
I have a cat. Have you not seen my cat?
Where do you have a
I've
cat?
never seen your cat.
You haven't seen my cat? Clayton, you don't know I have a cat?
You don't have a cat.
No, I have a cat.
I've
You haven't
in
been. Yeah, you haven't been over to my house a couple weeks, dude. You didn't know I got a cat?
So in the last 2
You have a
weeks, you've
cat?
gotten a cat. You should have just taken one of Sammy's cats.
No, I don't have a cat, guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I was over at
How
your
did
house
you
2
fall for
weeks
that?
ago.
You guys have both been at my house multiple times. You know I can't have pets in my house. And
How would I know that you can't
if
have
you
pets in your
both
house?
knew me really well, you know that when cat hair gets in my eye, it gets a little watery. and
How
get
did I know?
irritated.
How
love cats.
time out, how am I supposed to know that your cat hair gets in your eye and gets a little
I wish
watery?
the camera
and-
was on me right now
knows that.
because the stare I just gave you was nothing but disgust.
Did you know?
Oh, now the camera's on me.
Yeah, now it is. See the little tally light?
Yeah, dude.
So, like, I don't know why we keep cats as house pets. Those things are killers. They have no interest in being our friends. Like, we're just the hand that feeds them.
The only cat I like is Sammy's, and that's because one night I came home late night from doing some activities with my friends, and Sammy wasn't there, and I just broke down with his cat, bro. It was like 3 a.m.
Give them a little fist bump.
She just like sat there, and we were
Yeah.
just watching. Like I think we were watching Pawn Stars or something, just chilling.
No, cats are awesome, but they're scary.
I'm not a cat person, man. I got
No.
4 dogs.
Like, dogs are loyal to you. Dogs are in your pack. Dogs are, I love you. I love this family. That's what I'm about. I'm going to protect it. Whatever you do, whatever you say, I do.
My dog
That's
only
how
knows
most dogs
one
are.
command, and that's when I say, Obi, chill out, and he just chills.
Yeah, but he's a member of your
Wait,
pack.
your dog's name is Obi?
My dog's name is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Sorry, I was.
Nice.
Lucas knew where I was.
I
going there.
knew Lucas would like that.
Nice.
Yeah, we just
But-
call him Obi.
Obi.
I'm more of an Obi Toppin fan.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
I don't want to talk Flyers basketball on this podcast, Clay.
Ibby Watson, shout out. Athens guy.
Ibby Watson from. Did you know Ibby?
I did. Yeah, I went to school with Ibby from about 7th grade to our sophomore year. We had the same English class in 8th grade because I used to lean over to him and try and make him laugh in class, and I never could.
Much like this podcast.
Yeah.
Just 45 minutes of me trying to make people laugh and probably not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we're rolling to the end. Let me check my topic sheet. Make sure we're not missing something I really wanted to get into with you. Well, we talked about the team. What's our goal for this year? Let's talk about this on air. Win the championship again, right?
I mean,
Without a doubt.
Our big goal for like every year, though, like we said this last year, is just getting the kids ready for high school.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
one's gonna remember a 7th and 8th grade title. Like no
I
one goes
will.
around. Well, I mean, we will because we're
We
like,
will.
man, we're awesome coaches. We coached them to 2 championships. But those kids are gonna be like, 7th, 8th grade, what?
Yeah.
And we're getting them ready for high school and getting them ready for the rest of their lives because a lot of kids are pampered these days.
Yeah,
And
I mean, my success with this team is if in 4 years from now, when they're all seniors, because they're 8th graders now, when they're all seniors, we look back and there are a lot of them contributing and helping to a deep Athens playoff run in the sport of baseball. Then I feel like you and I would have been a completion of our job. if
yeah,
they're
you'll
able to
probably be
progress.
long gone, and I'll probably still be here. That's probably how that's gonna.
But
Maybe I'll take over the podcast whenever you leave.
MorOUns with Caleb Moon.
I feel like more people would watch.
That's a flex.
Wow.
Let's see if your podcast gets a lot of listens this time.
Oh, dude, I'm sharing it on everything, and I got a lot of people that like me because it's my birthday. So I'll be like, "Hey,
That's
dude,
true.
for my birthday,
Listen
you
to this
go-"
podcast.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, there's not much else I want to get into, and this podcast kind of like sometimes just like slowly comes to an end. But I want to thank everybody out there for taking a listen. I want to thank you for coming on this, man.
Oh,
for
dude.
coming on your birthday, taking some time out, getting into some conversation, listen to me about cat herpes, listen to me, rant about whatever I've ranted about today, talking about how I pee in
peeing in
Meyer.
Meyer. I still think it's a Kmart, but whatever.
It's not a Kmart.
Bet.
I'll check with my mom later, or she'll tell me or something if she watches this.
Tweet it out there.
Hi, Mom. I love you. Sleepy-dish.
I'll give a shout out to my mama too. Hey, I sent her flowers today. For it was a thanks for giving birth to me present.
Here, say something to her into the camera.
Sub Julia.
Oh my gosh! All right. Thanks so much for watching MorOUns.
Hey,
Listen
thanks
to
for having me
MorOUns.
on, buddy.
Yeah, no, it was seriously a lot of fun. Our next planned episode, Keegan Wilburn will be
Oh.
on the podcast next Wednesday to talk about not Nelson B. York Buckeye football. So that'll be a lot of fun.
If you need a co-host, I'm gonna send in my application. I think I could do it.
You know, I like the show to be my own, though. I'm pretty selfish.
Oh, you are definitely a selfish person.
Oh, without a doubt. We all know it. We all know it. But it's okay. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the podcast. And I hope that
had a great time.
everybody out there enjoyed it as well. I'll tell you what, Clayton, Jared, let's go ahead and sign this one off. See you next Wednesday.